Hey everybody, this is quite a departure from what I normally do on this channel, but I thought I'd just show you this. I kind of splurged and I bought an electric bike. I've got 3 bikes that I ride all around here, and I've never ridden an electric bike until I got this one. I'm not sure how much I like it. I put it together yesterday. It took me about 2 hours to get this thing together out here in this sweltering heat. But it's a good looking bike. It looks big. I'm gonna tell you something, these things are extremely heavy. I'm used to riding in the summertime when it's not muddy, when it's dry. I ride a real thin-wheeled bike because I like to just kind of stroll on a bike. You make zero noise. I like to move slow. I like to take in everything, and completely silent. And I see all kind of wildlife, deer, turkeys, raccoons, possums, all those things. But on this thing, it's hard to go slow on it because if you don't have the electricity turned on, it's so damn heavy, it's hard to pedal it. And so you can put it in the lowest gear, the lowest electrical, I don't know what it's called, the lowest electrical setting. And that is still faster than I ride on my bikes. I'm not a shredder. I enjoy being up on a bike, and anything on 2 wheels, I love riding it. But I'm gonna crank this bike up, turn the electricity on, and there's gonna be a story in this video, but I just wanted to take you along. And then when if the ride goes longer than the story, which is about 10 or 15 minutes long, it'll just keep going. I'll put some music to it, and you can kind of see some of the woods around here, and you will not see a Bigfoot. You won't see any sign of Bigfoot. I'll get all kind of comments. Oh, I saw Bigfoot there. I saw Bigfoot in that frame. Go to timestamp so-and-so and look at this. I never see anything. But they could be here. I'm not saying they're not, but I am saying that I never see them. But if you guys want to have any questions about this bike, I got it on sale. I wouldn't have paid full price for this bike and I'm not sure I really like it for what I do, because it's so damn heavy. Man, this thing weighs 170 or 80 pounds, and it's hard to, it just feels weird. I rode it for about 10 minutes last night after I put it together, so this is kind of the maiden voyage. So here we go. I wasn't going to do a podcast today. I was going to take a day or 2 off, but I was in here this morning and I came across this story, and I thought, I got time to do this one. I'll do one story in this podcast. All right, here we go. In 1975, I lived in rural Connecticut on 4 acres of wooded property. There were over 60 acres of woods and tobacco fields beyond that. I remember sitting on the back stairs and hearing a monkey. Not a roar like a gorilla, it was a monkey. I told my mother what I heard, and she said, well, it must be just a bird. And then she made me come inside. Every afternoon when I was 16 years old, I would take my Norwegian elk hound up into the woods for a walk, and at a certain point, I'd let him off the leash. Leaving my back door, I had to walk up an old dirt farming road that no one used beside my family, and then go up an incline through the woods before they broke into the tiniest clearing. Each time I reached the clearing, I'd hear 3 knocks on a tree somewhere off to my right. Now, this happened every day, and there were 3 knocks every time. I didn't think much of it at the time, though it did stick in my mind. One day after I reached the tree knock point, my dog became unusually clingy, and I heard something pacing me. And when I stopped, it stopped, and when I walked forward, it walked too. I wondered if it was a deer, and I kept walking. When I let the dog go off the leash, he didn't run through the cornfield at the next clearing like he usually did. This time he stayed close by me. And then one spring day, I was running after it rained and I found cougar tracks paralleling mine. It looked like a cougar had been stalking me. I eventually saw the cougar along with its deer kill and its cubs. At the time, no one believed me about the cougar except my father, who had once seen it too, though he never talked about it. And then the snow came and I trekked up to my place at the tree knock spot, and I saw more cougar tracks and a tail drag deep in the snow. The tracks were 5 feet apart, the whole length of my stride as far as I could stretch it. I ran and got my mother to prove to her that there was a cougar and that I wasn't crazy, and I showed her the tracks, and she was terrified of the size, but she was even more disturbed by the smell. "Oh, that," I said. "Well, it always smells like this up here, right in this place. I think that cougar must mark her territory or something." My mother looked uneasy, and she swayed back and forth a bit in her own footsteps and said that smell was not cat pee. That smell was right at the tree knock location, and in hindsight, I think my mother knew it was from a Sasquatch. Well, I grew up and I got married and I had children. And when my first child was around 10 years old, we were walking with 2 of her friends in a brand new development built on the edge of our old neighborhood. They built 94 houses in a stretch of land that, when we first moved there, was nothing but farm fields and a whole bunch of woods. We had gotten permission from the previous owner to hike there, and we did that often. It was sad to see the woods go, but here we were on a new road going through it on the top of a hill. As the girls and I were talking, I saw the strangest thing, and I thought my imagination was running away with me. Probably 200 feet away on the opposite hill was an enormous figure with long, blondish hair standing in the woods. It was the end of summer, and the fir tree needles were a bit sunburnt and tawny color, and this figure camouflaged perfectly with it. It was enormous, and it had its back to us, but from the side, I could just see a slim sliver of a face, mostly the nose, which looked more human, although the whole thing looked like a giant orangutan. It seemed to know I had seen it, and it slowly moved sideways through the trees until it was gone. I thought I was seeing things, and I told the girls that we should hurry back. And when they asked why, I lied, and I said I thought I saw a bear up on the hill. A few years and 2 more kids later, we moved 2 towns over into a more rural area. Down the street from our home is a 250-acre state forest. On a humid, sweltering July morning, my sons and I decided to take a hike on a short trail in the forest. We packed up water and our 2 dogs, and we headed down the street. We had just gotten onto the trail when I heard the strangest howl. It was far away, but it had the fullness to it, and as so many people attest to, I felt it in my chest. It sounded like a warning, like it was trying to scare us off, but like an idiot, I shrugged it off and I kept going. Not too far down the trail, we smelled the impenetrable stench, like cat pee and dead fish, and I remembered encountering the same smell in my youth at the 3 Knock place, and I started scanning the woods for any sign of a cougar. Well, I didn't see anything, and as we went on, the smell got stronger and stronger. We went home without any other event, but I felt a little shaken by the howling that filled my chest. And then 2 months later, I went back to the same spot with my dog. I had been watching Bigfoot videos on YouTube, mostly sparked by my husband's interest. He had grown up in this town and knew someone who saw one, and he heard one himself a few years ago. I was learning all the signs of what to look for: broken trees, that hideous smell, the tree knocks, and the howling. I was walking along the same trail that I had been on with my sons when off the trail on a faraway bank I saw a felled tree. The crunchy dead leaves on top of the tree were mixed with other brush and resembled some sort of nest or a shelter. I took out my phone and I snapped pictures of the tree and the surrounding area. And later, when I got home, I went back over my pictures and I enlarged every one and I studied the images. It didn't take long until I discovered that I'd captured images of the creature that I'd never seen in Connecticut before. Well, first, I sent the picture to my best friend. I said nothing. I only asked her what the picture looked like. Well, first she said it looked like a guy with a hood. But as she looked at it a little longer, she said it looked like some kind of an ape. Now, I can't tell you how shocked and delighted and frightened and horrified I was to have captured images of these creatures. I believe the first one I photographed was a juvenile. It had small ears, and the rest of it looked just like a chimpanzee with protruding lips and a flat nose. I have photographed others who were also hairy and dark, and you couldn't see their faces. I got babies that looked like baby gorillas and a mother with no hair on her face. She was about 5 feet away from me, hidden in a dense pine thicket, and she was holding an infant. And I have pictures of them with human-like arms and feet. Some with human-like eyes and some with all black eyes, resembling those of a gorilla. I thought seeing the face of Sasquatch would solve the mystery of whether they are human or animal, but unfortunately, seeing them just makes me question it even more. Apparently, they vary greatly by individual. Some look more ape-like and some more human-like. If I could tell you about every one of my encounters now in the last 3 years, I'd never finish writing this email. What I do know is that I have been unknowingly very close to these things and have not been harmed. But at the same time, there have been 3 mysterious deaths in the state forest, and I'm thinking Sasquatch could be to blame. There is an aggressive one amongst this group. I once drove down the road near where they are. I stuck my head out the window and I did a call that I've heard in the woods 1,000,000 times. That was a big mistake. A Sasquatch showed up out of nowhere and threw a rock at my car. As incredible as it may seem, these beings are here, and there are a lot of them, even in places you'd least expect it, like a well-trafficked state forest. Please feel free to share this or any portion as you see fit. I enjoy your channel. And the woman signs off, and this is one of those, this is a person who for years saw signs of something and she couldn't put it together. What she was seeing, she even mistook it for big cats or other thing, deer, she said. This is when she was younger. She ignored the signs that her dog was wary of going into places and stuff and just wrote it off. I mean, who would suspect anything other than that? And then she gets toward more current times and she's seeing them all the time, taking pictures of them, all kind of stuff. I just think that's extremely interesting that it's like once you see one and you know what to look for, all of a sudden you start seeing everything. Now, with me, of course, doing all these stories, I know what to listen for. I know what to look for. I know what the smells and I never see anything, nothing. And I'm back in the woods all the time. Matter of fact, I'm thinking, I just bought a new electric bike. Yes, I splurged, but I got one on sale and I'm about to go out and ride it and through my neighbor's pine thicket. And I'm going to put a chest camera and I'm going to show you, you've seen a lot of videos of me walking my dogs, but that's just a real small area of his property that he allows me to walk on and walk my dogs on. But I'm going to ride this electric bike because my fat ass can't pedal up those real steep hills. I bought this electric bike so I could get up the hills and just have some fun out there on his place. And he's such a good neighbor to let me do it. But I'm going to put a GoPro on and you'll see how many woods that I walk through. And I walk this whole place at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. And sometimes I do night walks with just a headlamp. That's really fun to me. It's too hot, too many mosquitoes out now, but when it starts cooling down, I'll take y'all on a night walk with a headlamp on and I'll film that. It's really fun. For me, I don't know why, I don't get scared. I'm 63 years old. I've seen everything with the exception of Bigfoot in these woods, and they just don't bother me at night, day. Sometimes I turn the light off. The only thing I worry about is stepping on a venomous snake. I don't want to do that. But other than that, there's really not much out there that's going to bother me, and it's very peaceful for me. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling. I'm going to get on this electric bike, and you'll see these woods, and you would think that from these stories, Bigfoot, and like this woman says, that they are absolutely everywhere. But you'll see, I don't know, some people will say, oh, I saw one in that frame, I saw one in this frame. I don't ever see anything. Maybe I'm just having too good of a time. I don't know. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this story. The woman who wrote it is very gracious to send it to me. And I appreciate you guys listening. And the one story in this podcast, and I hope that was, some people like shorter podcasts, and so I'm going to drop a few of those every once in a while, not the hour and a half long ones. I think this one is probably going to be 15 minutes long. So enjoy your week. It's Wednesday, August the 13th. Tomorrow's my sister's birthday. I got to remember to call her. Anyway, I love you all. Have a good week, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Thanks. Okay, just finished my ride. I was gone for 20 or 30 minutes. This thing is fun. It's got the brand on it there. I'm not sure what that is. Let me close this little dust cover. But this thing is, it's got 4 or 5 gears, electrical levels to it. I only used 1 and 2. Again, I'm used to riding really slow. And even in 1, that was too fast for me. But I went ahead and decided, okay, I'm gonna just get on this thing. So you could see in the video a couple times where I really picked up some speed, and that was just in either 1 or 2, the 1 or 2 level. It goes up to 5. They say this bike will get up to 28, 30 miles an hour. I was doing 15 on trails. So I don't know. Here's this is for having fun. It's a fat tire bike, so it's kind of made for, you know, rugged terrain. Struggled a little bit getting up hills, but you kind of expect that. So that's how I figured out how fast gear 2 was, because I'd click it up into gear 2 to help me get up a hill, a short hill. Man, that thing will go. But so you can ride it on blacktop or concrete. It's got fenders on it. It's got a bike rack on it. Came with a little bag to put on the back so I could go get McDonald's, I guess, if I wanted to. But it's a fun bike. I tell you, if I had known about these bikes, or if they had existed 20 years ago, at this price, I would have bought one immediately for hunting, turkey hunting and deer hunting. So if you're a hunter, man, and you hunt, for example, public ground, this bike will get you way back in there. I guess it would do okay just bushwhacking. Probably stop a lot, go through ditches and get over logs and stuff, and it's heavy. It's heavy just to pick it up. But once you get up on it and get rolling, man, this thing is unreal. So that's my first ride on a electric bike. I have a YouTube channel. It's not about electric bikes. It's never going to be about electric bikes. But I thought I'd let you guys see it. See how it rides. It's a big bike. I came home in gear 2. Gear 1, let's see how many it'll go up to. It'll go up to 5. I bet 5 is ripping it. Anyway, I'm gonna turn it off. And it's also got gears. It's got a derailleur back here with the gears. You just click them forward and click them back, and they drop into gears. I didn't have to do any adjustments on that derailleur to make it work. The brakes work pretty good. They're not hydraulic, they're mechanical, but they work fine because anyway, they'll stop you. I got to adjust that seat a little bit. I wish I could get it up just a little bit higher, but I've got it as high as it'll go. And that's it. It's weird for my channel for my face to be even on here, but there it is. Hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next podcast.